Hey Mole Gamers, we're back. Today we're taking a look at Injustice Gods Among Us. This comes at you for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Wii U. So how's this one stack up? We're going to find out. Remember the Justice Lords? In old Justice League series, essentially what happened is Superman killed Lex Luthor and basically dominated humanity. This is kind of the same premise, just instead of it being Lex Luthor, Superman kills Joker. And this is because Joker tricked Superman into killing Lois Lane and his unborn child. Go figure. But the story then takes the same twist where the Justice League is now lording over humanity, and they've recruited a lot of villains as well to take part in the control of humanity. And this is Superman's grand plan to build this perfect environment where no one gets hurt. As you can tell, it doesn't work quite well, because he does have one point of opposition, and that's Batman. And Batman figures out a way to pull Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, and a few other of the Justice League characters into this injustice realm. From there, it's a matter of how to not only get them back, but also defeat Superman's regime. So does anyone out there remember the Mortal Kombat 9 fighting system? Come on, it was released in 2011, not that long ago. Essentially, this is the update to that. You have a high, medium, and weak attack. Yep, it's pretty much Street Fighter, gang. Just you're not juggling between punches and kicks. And each character also has a special, but the special just varies depending on who you're using. You know, it's useful sometimes, but not always. The thing about it is, though, is that they're using a combo system, which is somewhat intuitive, like Mortal Kombat 9. Pretty much just hammering on a character, you'll figure out a good combination of weak and medium punches that can be followed up with a hard attack. In addition to that, though, you also have background interactivity, and this is amazing because you can pull things out of the background at will of this 2D fighter and use them. Just tap your interaction button and hey, you're all of a sudden launching a jet or doing something that basically will do high damage and take your opponent off guard. Now, you see that super meter at the bottom? That super meter is going to be for power moves or a clash, depending on what you want to do. You have to use this strategically because it builds up, and most of the time you can only build it up once per match. Now, we'll go through a clash first, which the clash is essentially, hey, you got this option where if you clash with your opponent, you have a chance of gaining life back, provided that you wage more of your super meter than your opponent does. If you win the wager, you're going to recover. If you lose, you take a little bit of damage. Either way, it's a high-risk maneuver, but the reward can keep you going if you're losing. The other option is the super attacks, and remember Mortal Kombat had their X-ray attacks? This is so much more epic because not only are the characters doing things like throwing them into space and flinging them around, but these are just massive damage attacks taken from a very cinematic standpoint. Really awesome. So like every other fighter out there though, this also features your online, your versus, the usual suspects. So hey, if you really want to take this online, good luck. People out there do play quite a bit. And yeah, I've gotten my butt handed to me more often than not. The other part though is that they give a tower. And they call these battles, but essentially it's like the Mortal Kombat Tower, where you fight through a roster of however many characters. It's a randomly chosen 9, I believe it is. And here I'm playing as Killer Frost, and when you get to the end, you get a short little ending for that particular character. It's a pretty good way to get people to play as multiple characters, not just going through the story. And this especially makes up for the story, which is short. You can complete the entire story in under 2 hours. Now, this is a far cry different from Mortal Kombat because Mortal Kombat 9, hey, that one took me a good 5-6 hours to complete. This being a lot shorter, I was hoping for more. Now, I do have to make mention, I'm not a fanboy, but I've been watching a lot of Justice League recently. And the problem that I'm finding with Justice League, well, specifically Injustice, is that it doesn't measure up. The art style here feels more Mortal Kombat than it does Justice League, and that was very hard to get out of my head. Especially when you look at, like, Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn compared to Arkham City, she looked awesome. She looked just like she stepped out of the comic book, got a little dirty, and a little grittier, but it's still Harley Quinn. This Harley Quinn, not really. Solomon Grundy's got a buzz cut. Well, the only character that really doesn't suffer is Batman, because Batman, it's very hard to screw Batman up. But overall, though, the characters look Mortal Kombat. They don't look Justice League. And especially if you've watched the series, it's kind of hard to ignore this. But the real question is if this game is right for you. And yeah, I recommend it. I mean, if you get past the art, of course, it is a solid fighter, and it does everything Mortal Kombat did, except this one's actually doing it a bit better. The background interactions are wonderful. My only disappointment, though, is your stupid little card thing. Whenever you complete a mode, level up, things like that, they give you a background or an icon or something to take online and brag about it. That's not a reward to me. I like being able to unlock costumes. And although you can do that through the battles, it's just not that interesting. So, hey, buy some, or hey, buy the downloaded content. I mean, Lobo's cool, Scorpion's a Mortal Kombat Scorpion, and Batgirl's alright too. Upcoming is Zod, by the way. At the time of this review, he's not out, so upcoming is Zod. I'm looking forward to seeing how he is with the Season Pass as well. So yes, I do recommend Injustice Gods Among Us. It is a fun title. But now it's time to talk morality for a little bit, and it's fighting, guys. It's fighting, it's Justice League. Pretty much if you're used to comic books, hey, fine. If you have issues with that, you may want to stick away from this. Also, there's mild language. Basically, they'll say the usual SH word every now and again. Otherwise, it's like damn and whatnot. The usual mild profanity for the most part. The thing that really you want to keep an eye on, though, is the costumes are Mortal Kombat-esque, which means that the characters look like strippers sometimes. And although it's got a rated T rating, they do show a little bit more than many people might like. So it's basically your tolerance for these things, whether you'd want to get this one, play it with your kid.